Welcome, Westminster classes of 1970 and 1971. I'm J.R. Andrews, Vice President of Institutional Advancement and Alumni Engagement here at Westminster College, and I want to welcome you as the newest members of the Order of the Golden Legion. It is my pleasure to introduce Ashlyn LaFlame, Grand Marshal of the Skulls of Seven. Ashlyn is a junior from Jefferson City, Missouri. She is majoring in biochemistry and minoring in public health. A few activities she is involved with on campus include serving as the Vice President of Academic Excellence for her sorority, Kappa Kappa Gamma, being the President of the Pre-Healthcare Professionals Association, as well as serving on the Oath and Values Board. Additionally, Ashlyn is a Westminster tutor, a biology department teaching assistant, a Remley Women and Gender Center intern, and a member of the Honors College program. After her time at Westminster, Ashlyn plans to attend medical school and pursue a career as a physician, specializing in surgical oncology. Ashlyn?
Good afternoon, class of 1970 and 1971. I am Ashlyn LaFlame, Grand Marshal of the Schools of Seven. It is my pleasure to recognize each of you, the members of the classes of 1970 and 1971, and offer congratulations on behalf of Westminster College for your esteemed membership in the Order of the Golden Legion. One second. It won't let me slide over. I don't think so. Oh. Class of 1970. Thomas Anderson, Joe All, Sanborn Ball III, Peter Barker, Albert Bean III, Douglas Beatty, John Bender, Charles Berglund, Brock Bigsby, Robert J. Blair, Carl Blanchard, Louis Boffa, William Chris Bourne, David Brown, Glenn Brunez, William Brunton, John Bruce, Richard Coleman, Douglas Copeland, Timothy Corbett, William Cottingham, Woodruff Crandall, Peter Culpepper, James Dahlmeyer, Joseph Dirk III, John Dulaney Jr., Russ Elgin, Richard English, Michael Esser, David Evans, Dennis Fennell, Frank Gilbert, Floyd Gooch, Stephen Graves, Robert Green, Brian Haggerty, Dwight Haldeman, Robert Hamilton, Lawrence Harmon, Daniel Harris, William Hobsetter, Scott Hoffman, Bruce Dupont Kennedy, Eric Kern, Roland Kiefer, Siwon Kim, Philip Klinkard Jr., Stephen Kuntz, Charles Lamb, William Leslie, John Marshall Lindsay Jr., Clay Logan, Thomas Loser, William Malcolm, David McDaniel, Kevin Mulvey, Michael Naylor, Lee Newman, Frank Nichol II, David Park, Robert Penrod, Robert Perkins, Jay Peterson, Don Piat, Craig Richards, Ted Richardson, Thomas Rigdon, Lawrence Rizal, Harold Rocketto, James Rosendahl, Stephen Scholl, William Schween, Young Yi Xiao, Jack Smith, Marshall Smith, David Barry Stifler, Richard Stockton, James Stewart, John Sullivan, Donald Tomnitz, John Ulrich, Michael Walker, Richard Walton, John Wilson, Thomas Wolgma, West Woodridge, Brian Yantis, Randy Yeager, Drew Young II. The class of 1971. Robert Alexander, Timothy Allen, Lowry Arnold, James Backer, Bruce Banta, Robert Beard, William Blatz, Brian Booth, Robert Bolden, Joseph Bradley Jr., Harold Bray, Frederick Brooks, Joseph Boydos, Daniel Byers, Robin McCall, James Canella, William Chang, D. Bruce Conrad, Michael Craighead, Michael Conran, Richard Daniel, William Daniels, Stephen McGarry, Raymond Dickaner, John Dillow, Robert Donnell, Thomas Dunlap, James Elfrank, Edward Fitch, Stephen Fraley, Jacob Fricker, Robert Fulmer, Ben Gilbert, Jeffrey Gittinger, Hugh Graff, Anton Graham, John Green, Daniel Grubb, David Hackettthorne, Russell Hall III, Timothy Harlan, Robert Hornbuckle, Mark Hubbard, Douglas Hunt, Kenton Hunter, Jeffrey Huston, Doak Jackaway, Downing Jenks, Douglas Jensen, Charles Kerr, Carl Cole, Barry Kramer, John Lampkin Jr., Robert Lang, Brian Liebig, Charles Livermore, William Luker, Coburn Maddox, Clay Marcuson, John McAllister, James Meek, Philip Mills Jr., Jack Moberly Jr., James Moffett, Rod Moeller, Keith Moon, Neil Murphy, James Niedermeyer, Nathan Norton, Stephen Patrick, James Peter, Gerald Proud, David Richley, Robert Sanders, Fred Schreier, Stephen Schneider, Roger Schoenfield, Kent Schrader, Joseph Silverman, Bruce Smith, John Straddle, James Stewart, Davis Taggart, Stephen Taylor, Stephen Thaler, William Theobald, Roger Thompson, Leslie Toplitz, William Trolio, John Cleve, Jr., Richard Walker, Jr., John Weeder, Jr., Joseph Wichman, Jay Wilbrand, Richard Williams, Matthew Wright, John Yavernick, Philip Young, Harry Zanville. At this time, Westminster College would like to take a moment to remember your classmates who are no longer with us. I would now like to introduce Don Lofi Jr., Interim President and Chief Transformation Officer of Westminster College. Mr. Lofi assumed the interim presidency and the Chief Transformative Officer role for Westminster College on July 1st, 2020. Most recently, he was a partner in the Chief Risk Officer for Global Business Services, Mortgage and Lending Solutions for the IBM Corporation. Prior to joining the IBM Corporation, he served in several senior executive financial and operating roles, public and private entities, for insurance, community lending, and other financial and mortgage-related services entities, both domestically and internationally. He also was a partner for the PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP. Mr. Lofi served as the engagement partner Progressive Corporation and also specialized in private and public higher education clientele. He is a CPA and a CGMA active status and is also a COSO certified by the AICPA. He holds a BA in Accounting and Political Science from Westminster College and an MBA with concentrations in Finance and Business Policy from the University of Chicago. Additionally, he received the Westminster College Lifetime Alumni Achievement Award in 2011. With that, President Lofi.
Thank you, Ashton and JR. I'm very pleased I'm just very pleased to be with you this afternoon, and I want to welcome the classes of 1970 and 1971. As Ashton mentioned, I'm Don Lofi. I'm the Interim President, Chief Transformation Officer of Westminster College. And I'd like to begin by taking just a few minutes to remind you of the remarkable senior year you enjoyed on campus 50 years ago. So I'm going to take you back and take this opportunity to just briefly rewind history just a bit. Westminster has always been a revered institution with an international reputation, where the world's greatest leaders have consistently shared their views. In 1970 and 1971 were no exception. 1970 featured campus lectures by civil rights leader Julian Bond, former Missouri Attorney General John Danforth, and economist Walt Rostow, who served as a national security advisor to President Lyndon Johnson. 1971 featured a lecture by the British ambassador to the United States, Lord Harlech, as well as the dedication of our Winston Churchill statue, a campus icon. Of course, these formal events simply serve as a backdrop to your many personal memories. And those memories from a time of great stress, not unlike today. Today, you find yourselves interacting with Westminster virtually after one of the most challenging years in our history. And you may privately ask yourself about the future of Westminster College or the world we live in. You'll be pleased to know that 50 years after you've passed through the columns and out into the world, Westminster continues to move forward, full speed ahead, with a very optimistic view. And we've done so by continuing to offer the solid liberal arts education each of you received while at the college. Despite changing times, despite dire headlines about the obstacles in higher education, and despite a worldwide pandemic, we again have an optimistic future ahead of us. However, this future won't happen by accident. In so many ways, it'll be shaped by successful alumni such as you, who we honor today. Your lives reflect what we encourage in our students today to be leaders of character who wholeheartedly embark upon lives of success, significance, and service. And we're deeply grateful for the many ways you reflect this mission and have given back to our college in so many ways throughout the years. I know how much Westminster means to you, the treasured memories, the cherished friendships, the rich traditions, and an extraordinary learning experience. And as a fellow alumnus, I share your love and passion for this institution. I assure you of that. And I and we are committed to building the Westminster we want for future generations, one that will prepare our young and diverse leaders to meet the challenges of this new century. Thank you for joining us today, and congratulations on your exciting 50-year milestone. Also, hopefully you've all received your medal recognizing your 50th class reunion, and if you haven't, I'm sure it's on its way. Have a good afternoon.